like kind of conflicted from TikTok. Like I'm kind of happy it's gone, but I'm kind of not. And then she's like, I'm gonna take it. This is gonna be good. I'm gonna get so much time back. And then it was literally disabled like the night of, and then the morning, very next morning.
Scrolling.
Okay, well, to be fair, that like a lot of it is my job. Like I have to know what the trends are, and so I'm like,
don't use that excuse.
I was excited when it was gone because I'm like, well, now I actually can't get on. But now I'm like, I kind of need to know what's going on.
I don't know. I just completely deleted it off my phone. I thought it was gonna like blow up or something. So I'm like, well, China's in our house. One less.
I don't get on it.
Person.
I haven't turned my notifications off because it was just sending me like stupid stuff, like whoever is on now, and I'm like, no, you're not.
It
literally sent me alerts saying like Stephanie Maxwell is on TikTok. I'm like sitting right next to her. No, she's not.
You got.
So I'm like, it's just trying to bait me to get on.
You would get notifications of my reposts, which were so dumb.
Yeah, I did get notifications of your stupid reposts.
I reposted about Taylor Swift and Spencer's like,
gee whiz,
no.
Man.
I don't do TikTok. I just do Instagram, honestly.
I think TikTok. I do honestly. A lot of stuff that I learn is from TikTok.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, like it is like dialed into just like, and I don't want to sound like, oh, I'm so studious. Like, no, it's I learned so much good stuff from TikTok.
I saw a lot of whatever. Charlie Kirk. I saw a lot of Jordan Peterson. A lot of
love Jordan Peterson.
Yeah. Stuff like that. So
yeah, it is really educational. All my recipes and
that's true.
I don't use Google. That's the problem. Now I don't Google anything. I go into TikTok and type whatever I need to know.
I'm the old man that Googles everything. Restaurants.
You're like 10 years behind. Like, you'll get there.
I was tthinking that the other day, or maybe it was even this afternoon. Like we're watching these videos, right? Yeah, we're watching these educational videos, and I'm like trying to type this out like notes within Google Docs and everything, and I look over, and there he is just scribbling it down with it.
I take handwritten notes.
I know, but I have to write.
If I write it, I
too.
remember it. Typing it is just in and out.
Really, I hate typing stuff.
Well,
out.
it takes me so long to write. So if I can type,
yeah, but if it's worth it, if it sticks, who cares?
Well, I'm trying to keep up with the video, homie.
You also have beautiful handwriting.
We paused it 20 million times. It took us an hour to watch a 15-minute video today because we take so many notes and we pause and we're like, wait, go back.
Today I was listening to them and they this guy, they were like, what does this mean? And then they took all this time to Google it, write it out, and then they click play and the guy explained everything that it meant. Yeah. And they were like, we just had to shut up.
I literally said, if we would just shut up and let the man speak, we would have found our answer that we just spent 10 minutes Googling.
I did that the other day to you. You wrote out, what was it? Like you had something like typed out.
I had some plan typed out.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, have you thought about XYZ? He's like, keep reading. And like the next 2 lines was like,
well, that's men. Men just like take what's in front of them. They actually did a study on it. Like they put people through obstacle courses and you had to read through this to start. And the guys just started doing everything down the line just as they went. And in the end, it was like, don't do anything or something like that. And then the women read all the way through and like didn't have to do anything. And then just put themselves through it. I wasn't going to try
to make this a marriage podcast, but I was like, this sounds so much like my husband, where it's just very much like I'll be talking to him and he knows what I'm going to say. And he just finishes the sentence for me. And I'm like, I do that.
Does that bother you?
Oh my gosh. I'm like, you got it.
Really?
Go ahead.
Oh, I do that really bad.
Have you seen the podcast of the guys? He's like, your turn. And he's like, no, your turn.
The Lord.
Go ahead.
When she prays for patience.
That's it.
It's when I give her plenty of opportunities for patience because I'm bad at interrupting.
That's what, when you pray for patience, you got me.
She cuts me off.
I think
so many times.
My brain works faster than yours. So I'm like, I already like get it out.
Excuse me?
Truly?
Your brain works faster?
It does, because you like when you're talking, you just talk slow and you.
Zach, you're just real stupid and I'm smarter than you.
That's pretty much what I'm hearing.
I interrupt you a lot though too, Zach. I'll be like, yep, got it.
Yeah, you do.
Like,
yeah, you do.
Never mind. I was like, currently.
I interrupt really badly, and I always like when people are talking, I'm like, yeah. Oh, like I like talk while they're talking. I hate that I do that.
Sometimes I'll purposely. He doesn't know this. I'll purposely talk slower.
Just
sometimes he'll be like, get it out, and I'm like, I think I'm fine. You just need to have patience.
You guys are so
We
silly.
just spoke about this morning.
Yeah.
we did.
Zach and I did. I was like literally, I was confessing everything you're talking about to Zach this
Mhm.
morning. I don't know how the conversation came up, but
I don't
And
know.
I have gotten better as far as like be patient with it and stuff, but there are times when I'm just like, because I see you, like I can see you computing and I see you on your phone and you have a phone call, because that's just the nature of what you do all day long. So
if
when
I
you
have
get
a-
home, it's hard to shut it off.
yeah.
But I'm just like, hello, Spencer.
If
how
I
was
have a
your
thought,
day
I have to
today?"
get it out or else it's gone.
Mhm, I'm
Like
the
I've
same
literally
way.
been like, okay, I've literally thought about something, took my phone out to take a note, and then it's like the thought's gone.
We're
So-
literally
Yeah.
twins.
And,
Yeah.
And they're
I tell you what,
Yeah.
it is crazy
It's
how
weird.
similar you and
It's
I
really
are.
nice that it's not like men and women, honestly.
Yeah, no, for
because
sure. I
it's
agree.
just kind of gives you a new perspective.
Well,
Mhm.
and it is also nice because it balances us too, right?
Mhm.
So, like how she's the yin to the yang
Mhm.
in marriage, it's kind of the same way because I'll like get pissed off and chuck
Oh
on
my
Yeah,
my
gosh,
Zach,
could
side.
you imagine if the two of you
don't
were the
send that
same
message,
with
Zach.
business?
Don't send that message.
No, but like,
So
what if
true.
you
We're gonna
guys
get
were the
sued.
same?
It'd
Like,
be terrible.
with this business stuff
Yeah.
going on,
Yeah.
just like flooring it and doing whatever. Because one thing about interrupting is that tells me you're not actively listening to what I'm saying, because you're trying to get a response.
I believe
Look
Exit
into the
stage
camera.
left. Exit stage left.
I
because,
believe
you
that
know-
was an episode of the podcast earlier about
Mhm.
actively listening,
Spencer.
I've gotten better.
Yes.
Thank you.
except for with me.
Yeah, I shut you up. Yeah, you'll go to say something. I'll be like, "Yeah, I already did that."
I
Like,
know.
oh, okay.
And
then you'll just sit out. Well, okay, but we are pretty good at reading each other's minds at this point
Yeah.
because we think
You
the same
guys are
thing.
basically
Yeah.
married now.
I mean, pretty much. Spend it.
Anyway, welcome to the Blueprint Podcast. We're back with the wives.
Yes, we are.
The last time we filmed, Steph was
I
pregnant.
had a little secret, a little
It was a-
baby bun in the oven.
It was a
Steph,
new
give,
secret.
From the last podcast that we had the wives on till now, give the updates.
Yeah. I was, I think, 6 or 7 weeks pregnant with our daughter, our third child,
The
who
cutest
is
little girl.
now
Little baby lad.
10 weeks tomorrow. So it was like, what, last March?
Mhm.
And I also knew I was going to be quitting my job to stay home, but I still had my job.
Wait, were you still there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were in like your
It was
2
like
weeks.
I had to tell them.
Yeah,
like, the
we said
next
don't
week or
discuss it,
something. Yeah.
Oh,
So
We had a
I
lot
knew
of
I
things
was
that we
leaving.
couldn't say the whole time. I was like,
yeah.
Pregnant and leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
just
Dang,
a couple
I,
big life.
I didn't
changes.
realize that you were still working there
Mhm.
while
I
we
knew
were
I
recording.
was leaving, but I didn't want to say anything. And then, and I was pregnant. So I left that job early April. So, and then we had Lila James Maxwell in November.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have another baby, and it's a lot. And I'm so blessed, and I'm so excited, and I'm really tired. And postpartum,
How's being a stay-at-home mom?
the best and the hardest thing I've ever done in the whole wide world.
She's on her third caffeine drink of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
2
Is
white
that-
monsters and a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
The coffee, which is provided by Chase Midkiff, it is
Oh,
Poppets.
my
And
goodness.
speaking of power outage, shout out to Chase Midkiff for the coffee.
Mhm.
We're not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor, we'd do it.
Yeah.
Put a logo behind us.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
right, That's right.
So yeah, Steph's a stay-at-home mom now,
Mhm. Love it.
I-
which has
love
been
it.
amazing.
I tell you
Rewarding.
what,
Remember when that was the goal? We were like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to get Steph to stay at
Mhm.
home.
I do remember that. And I wouldn't say recently, but really have understood how difficult
Mhm.
that is.
Oh, I was so
Like, oh
It's not for the
naive.
faint
my
of heart,
goodness.
my friend.
And you got 3.
Yeah. So I just now feel like, which I'm still obviously 10 weeks is like not
You're
much
still
postpartum.
yeah.
Which that
But-
is crazy. It's already been 10
She's so
weeks.
big.
But in
That is
postpartum
insane.
terms, like that's fresh postpartum.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
would just
Yeah.
now be like, I think with Isaiah, I went back at 9 or 10 weeks, so I would just be now
a
returning.
lot of
to
women go back
work
at like 12. Yeah.
because you get like
Mhm.
no time off. It's really sad. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just now not obviously pregnant, so the whole time I've been home, I was pregnant, and that was really hard with 2 crazy little boys. And then it was like I had her in postpartum, and then we had the holidays and everything. So I feel like I'm just now like, okay, how do I do this?
Settled in,
Like,
yeah, getting in a routine.
How do I do this good? How do I do this correct?
Mhm.
So
Although, as we were talking the other night, you're kind of in the rhythm on baby number Trace.
yeah, she's
You
doing
got
great.
it. You got your systems down.
It's just
You
like
do.
you look at each
You
other
guys
and
are
you're
pros.
like, yep, we know what to do. Let's
Mhm.
go.
Yeah.
All right, we got to leave for church in 20 minutes.
which is good and hard on marriage for sure. But I think that we're in a good spot. I think we're very much like locked in. We do sometimes we just go into robot mode.
It's a bonding experience, being
Yeah.
able to bond over like getting stuff done.
Yeah.
As parents, parenting is fun.
Yeah.
It is.
You guys are so cute.
It is so much fun.
Yeah. We're over here living the dank life.
I don't
Well,
even know what that would be like, honestly.
you never had it.
We
crazy.
keep dreaming about like, I can't wait to, he's always like, I can't wait to like go out with you and do all this stuff. And I was
Travel
like,
and
maybe after 20 years we'll actually get like a honeymoon. That'd be pretty sweet.
Well, yeah, we want a honeymoon too.
Yeah. We didn't really get a honeymoon.
yeah, you guys.
either.
Well, yeah, you moved to Tampa
Yeah, we moved to Florida.
Yeah, but it
2
was
days
like
after.
it
2
wasn't,
days
it
after
wasn't
your
a
wedding.
fun time.
for
No.
a commission only job.
Sometimes you just got to step out on the limb, man. It's what you got to do.
That's your whole life, stepping out on a limb.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally my whole life. And I think it paid dividends because where we're at now, like, I think that kind of played a role.
Yeah.
Helped me out.
If you can't take risks, you're not going to get anywhere.
100%. To be in the 1%, you got to do what the 99 aren't willing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So what's I mean, that's kind of the life update on Steph.
I mean, compared to you guys, we're like, we can just skip past.
there
us.
you go. Play the art of comparison. Get out of here, devil.
I mean, I think that
Life update since last March.
it's honestly, it's from an us perspective, it's not much has changed, which is good. You know, it's just smooth and steady, which has been good. But obviously, things have changed from a business perspective because it was all in with the agency and all that kind of stuff, which is fantastic. Like, the goal is to still have the agency as our marketing media company for sure. But I've found a new venture that aligns with previous experience.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
What could that possibly be? I don't know.
Another business?
Another business.
Dude, it's sad. Like when I call people sometimes, like, gosh, my CPA or other people, they're like, all right, what are you up to now? What are you calling me about? What questions do you have? What's the next business venture?
Right.
Because I'm just like always throwing ideas.
More stuff going on.
Yeah.
I'm always throwing ideas.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't know if you feel this way, but like I feel like a lot of stuff that I've done it wasn't directly entrepreneurship. Obviously the agency was, right? But the things leading to that, it's always been commission jobs and yada, yada, yada. And I feel like all those have just kind of been like closed doors. But also I just made a video about this the other day. I feel like life is just like this massive puzzle.
Yeah.
And I genuinely believe like the pieces are out there. We just have to like put in the work to find them. And I feel like when I reflect, when I was working in, wealth management at Northwestern, like I look at that and I'm like, oh man, like that really set the stage to make this connection and know and understand how to do sales and this and that and understand the financial piece. And then I moved to Tampa, right?
To New Western.
And
really?
I was doing that old Western. Now I'm on to the New Western.
Yeehaw.
Okay.
And I look at that. I see how that played a piece. And then I looked at Vinebrook and I saw, the experience that I was able to gain there. And yeah.
Freaking Vinebrook.
And the memories. But all that said, like that really helped, right? Because I got to do a significant amount of real estate transactions and get experience without having to take any of the risk. So I look at that and then I look at all these pieces and I'm like, man, that just really seems like it is aligning with what we're doing.
Yeah.
And
what puzzle pieces are you putting together right now? What would you say is like, how has things folded together, so to speak,
Well,
lately?
before you say that, remind me of when you hopped on to the agency with her.
it was August
23
of
right?
23.
So then you guys obviously have that going on.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we moved into our house that same time, right?
Was it August? Yeah. No, July. I think it was July. But then we went on vacation. Yeah, I think it was July-ish. But we were remodeling the house and still living at the apartment while we were doing. Yeah. We moved in like August. I think it was like August 7th.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Anywho, yeah, and then even the agency and all that kind of stuff. But to answer your question, what what puzzle pieces I feel
I'm
like
just kidding.
I'm just kidding.
I was like trying to think of like what it was, and I was like, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
We do that all
Now
the
who's
time.
the interrupter?
Sorry.
Good thing we're recording.
That was fun.
I can
You're
put that in
so
the evidence
cute.
files.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. I didn't even give you a chance to like.
You're like, oh, Spencer.
rebut that.
Oh, is that funny? I'm just kidding.
I loved it. Anyways,
Anyhow.
sorry, he was on a roll.
What pieces?
What pieces are folding together right now? What do you see coming together?
I see a lot coming together, and I mean, I'm very optimistic about the trajectory in which things are going. So, like, I'm seeing how New Western, how that whole wholesale experience, how understanding the granular details of how those transaction works, how to build a portfolio of investors, how to all that stuff. I'm seeing how that fits into a piece of LNF in what we're doing. I'm seeing Vinebrook super significantly and just
With what we want to do.
with what we want to do in understanding, because the REIT hedge fund space and just kind of some of the lingo and how it operates and just like having that as a baseline of like understanding like things like this exist. And I feel like that's half the battle of like a lot of people just don't know some of this stuff even exists or is an option. Now we're starting to put those pieces together of like, hey, this is an option. Here's big picture. Here's what we want to do. Here's what we want to go. Here's where we want to go. And fitting in these pieces of like, okay, that is step one. Now we got to get the remaining.
Well, it's like every time
steps,
you go up a level, it's like you master that level and you're like,
Mhm.
oh, wow, this is great. And then another door opens. You're like, oh, wait, there's more.
Right. And I
there's more.
feel like I almost had that realization, 2 days ago when we were like educating and we were like, oh, like what we want to do is we want to raise capital. We want to get into larger spaces. And so then we're like researching it. And then we stumble upon this video and it's like, oh, okay, here's real estate syndications and here's
Starting a real estate fund, how to raise capital.
Yeah, starting a fund and a fund that's specific to the acquisition of real estate and how like that is where you really play in the big sandbox. And just seeing those things and just understanding even the base level of like how can we build a business like from the wholesale novation flip side that's going to really increase and set us up with good monthly cash flow from an income perspective, and then be able to like hire people to run that to get that foundation going.
And then we start to work with investors. And so it's crazy how God like puts you just through those seasons.
Right.
It's like, hey, you got to learn how to be a realtor, learn how to build connections.
Yes.
Learn how to invest, slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Learn the novations, learn all that.
And the connections that come along with those stops that you do. Right. And I feel like everything has just been leading from my perspective, and I can't speak for you on your behalf, but obviously you've done a lot of things like even Moraine, like holy smokes, like that has been game changer for things and being a realtor and the transactions and how, when I was working at Vinebrook, how that kind of paralleled with you and how I, and how all of this has just kind of been coming together and
slowly but surely been on an angle.
That
eventually gets to a point.
And the thing that is crazy is at the time, I'm at New Western. We move home from Florida and it's like, what do I do now? You feel like, hey, we struck out. Like this is a dead end. Like that was a waste of time. And then, moving on and you're in the thick of it at, current places and you're like, man, I feel like I'm just not going anywhere. I feel like that this is a dead end. I don't understand what's the purpose of this. I mean, I always say hindsight is 20/20 and you can't really reflect on that until you've been through it. Right. But looking back now and understanding of like how each one of those spots, each one of those jobs played a specific role into the bigger picture.
Well, the puzzle pieces you've collected are giving you credibility and experience of what you guys are doing now.
For sure.
Is really cool.
Yeah. And just the
time,
understanding.
Super not fun.
Yeah.
But
yeah. It's not, but
last time, I know we talked about this last time, but right after we moved back is when I got a job at Power Ad.
Yeah.
Imagine if I didn't get a job at Power Ad.
Imagine if you both didn't get hired for the same position. If that was any other employer, nobody would have hired two people for the same role because they liked you.
Right.
But it was a Christian small operation that was like, hey, they both deserve it. Let's give them their shot. And then that eventually brought Zach and I together. And now look at us. Now we're sitting in our office.
Crazy.
If you guys haven't noticed, we have a new setup.
Yeah.
So something since the last podcast, we got an office space here in Kettering.
Yeah.
And so it's like we put our podcast studio in, we work out of here every day, and then we have our conference room. So it's super cool. We get, people get to come here. We get to chat it up with our network. We bring our network in here. So, question for you guys. What are your goals this year maritally?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I know I'm putting you on the spot.
No, well, I've
baby.
I swear, the more time I spend with your kids, I'm like, oh, I think I want one. And then
I know
we've been blessed with good kids.
I love
they
your,
are
I
just
love
like,
your children.
oh, they're the sweetest, cutest things.
Well, I can start here, so I can speak for me specifically. One thing, and I put this on my list of personal goals, but I want to do a better job of serving her and making that a main focus, because she is the main focus, right? I know that I probably spend more time with you than I do with her, but sorry, she's the main focus, but serving her more. And then I'm sorry, this is not probably what you're going to want to hear, but we were talking of like, hey, this might be our last year without kids.
Yeah.
And so we really want to take the time to really focus on one another, do the things to grow our marriage. Like
that's mature. That's good.
And like we were talking because we love Tampa, and I don't want to talk too much for you, but we love Tampa, and we were talking back and forth, and we're like, man, tax season's coming up, and a 4-day trip is $4,000, and it's like, well, do we really want to spend $4,000 on a 4-day trip? Like, and then all of this kind of stuff. And then we kind of came to the realization of like, hey, this might be our last year as just us two. Let's really invest. Let's do the things that is going to bring us closer together, create memories, invest in one another, do the things that we love to do. Because when a baby comes in the picture, it's going to be the greatest experience. It's going to be awesome, and we can't wait for it. But this will never be the same.
Right.
It will forever be
Facts,
changed.
yep.
Right. So understanding that and really wanting to move in, lean into that. And then so that way when it's time, we have a baby, and it's like,
we can pour into that baby.
What about you, Tawnee?
I mean, I feel like you did it. First of all, can we talk about the fact that he wants to go to Tampa? Hold on, we have to debrief this. Yeah. I was like, why don't we just drive? Because if we drive, then we don't have to pay for flights, then we don't have to pay for a rental car. That cuts out like most of the cost. And he's like, I'm not doing that. So,
I hate driving. I hate
Someone convinced him to let's just drive.
No.
And
can we also just add that you have a car that drives itself?
He doesn't want to take.
He doesn't have the self-driving feature.
I just got an
it's
email.
Like $8,000.
I was like, okay.
Or it's like $100 a month.
I think it's more like you don't want to put miles on any of the car.
I don't want to put miles on the car, and I hate driving. If I could fly to like Tennessee, I would fly to Tennessee. Like I hate driving.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It drives, and I get all cooped up. My legs start hurting. My back starts hurting. I'm like, I know I sound like a rickety old man,
You
but
sound like a diva.
I don't know.
The frugal diva.
Yeah, we had screaming kids in the back. Yeah. So Tawnee, you go.
I mean, we talked about this a lot, and I know I talked to you about it in Bible study, but I just feel like for me, I personally want to focus on my spiritual journey this year and just grow deeper in my faith. And then I feel like that will ultimately overflow into our marriage. Because, I mean, you guys probably know that that's the case for you too. It's like when you don't have anything to pour out, then it kind of impacts your marriage. But we've been, I mean, I say this all the time, we've been really good. Like I'm really proud of us and what we've done. But I feel like the first few years of marriage, we were just go and like trying to just survive basically and make it through. And so this last year we were like, okay, we got our house, like we're settling in our careers and stuff. So this year I'm like, this is just fun to like enjoy it. And then we can, you know, hopefully add a little baby to the mix.
That time's such a gift too.
So
that's awesome.
And you know, hopefully things take off with L&F. I mean, obviously we're making strides in the right direction. I mean, deals are coming up. We're getting stuff done. Obviously, with real estate, it takes a little bit of time. To, you know,
pipeline lasts.
Couple
months.
To get things off the ground, and then from the time that you start to see money in your bank account, it's just
and then Tampa won't be any issue. You say, hey, let's go on an 8-day trip.
Let's take a PJ.
Let's take all the kiddos.
Well. That's I really
I know. When you were telling Isaiah that you want to go to the beach, I was looking at you and I was like, this might be bad to say because he's gonna hold you.
He was just like, I was like,
he does remember those things.
Zach and Tawnee, and he's like, yeah. He's like, I want to go to the beach. And I was like, okay.
Well, he saw the beach.
He doesn't know what the beach is.
Well, he saw the. Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
He saw the beach on her screensaver. He goes, "That's the beach." I said, "Yeah, that's the beach."
He goes, Zach, Tawnee, and I was like, "What's behind us?" He goes, "Beach, water."
Yeah, he knew what the beach was. He knew what it was. Yeah.
Steph teaches him stuff. I don't know.
Well, and he's just really smart. He's a sponge right now.
He seems so smart.
He's the smartest kid ever. Like said every parent ever.
No, it's just weird.
He knew his months very well.
Yeah, and that surprised me. I didn't do that. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's impressive.
He started singing it, and I was like, "What did you just say?" Like, and I had him start over, and he's very smart.
That was impressive. I was like,
it makes me sad.
Wow.
And it shouldn't make me sad. It should make me really proud.
Because I'm getting older.
Because your little baby boy is growing up.
Tawnee,
hold on. What did I say the other day about their kids?
I don't know.
Where I was like, they're so cute, but like, and I'm not even like related to them. I'm like, I don't want them to grow up. Like, I want them to stay little.
Yeah. It's a heartbreak.
I'm like, when they get older, they're gonna be like Tawnee and Zach. Like, ugh, they're not cool.
We're gonna be so old. I'm gonna be so old.
Shut up.
But I feel the same way about like Addie. Every time I see her, I'm like, you're so big.
Yeah, I know.
And it's cool to see her grow up. But at the same time, I'm like, no, you're just like a little baby.
I feel like that's a really cool thing to be able to like watch the growth and progression of like kids.
Yeah, you literally get to witness it.
Yeah. That's very cool.
Sad though.
It is.
Like I always hear like moms say that, and I'm like, oh, whatever. And I'm like, oh. Like you can't even thinking about them getting older and like caring about like if they're fitting in. I'm like, no, just stay like fun and
one kid hit Isaiah at a playground.
He what?
Yeah, one kid hit Isaiah, a bigger kid,
an older kid,
and there was had a little brother.
It was 2 against 1. It was so sad, and we all three of us had a learning experience that day for sure. I was just
what'd you do?
Well, Isaiah was like, he got like mad. And I was like, Isaiah, come here. And, you know, like this kid was a degenerate. He was doing this to everybody.
So Isaiah's 3.
Yeah, this kid had to be
like
6.
7.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he's like a head taller than him. His younger brother was probably Isaiah's age. And they were 2 against 1. It was so sad.
I called
2 against Isaiah?
Yeah. I called Isaiah out of the ball pit. And I was like, Isaiah? I was like, did he hit you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, you go hit him back. Go.
Good for you.
I was like, go. And this is in a public setting. I shouldn't have done that. Because Isaiah was like, and then he literally went on a beeline to this kid, and he couldn't catch up. The kid was just running around. And then I look under the playground, and the kid's little brother has Isaiah pinned down, and Isaiah's screaming. And I'm like, gosh dang it.
I could just see it.
And so he was like full. He was like going rampage because Dad said, "You go give it back to him."
Right.
And eventually, I scolded the kid, and he stopped.
Yeah.
You know, I just had to scold the brothers. I was like, "Hey."
Yeah.
I gave him one of those. Gave him a look. Yeah, and so he put the ball down. He's like, okay.
Very much like I should have said something earlier. I was very much like I was stepping in. I was like, Spencer,
Steph was about to be.
Oh my gosh.
Hood Steph coming out?
Go get your mom. Do I need to fight his mom? Let's go. Let's go. I was like, I'm postpartum. I'm big girl. Let's go.
I was, and so this is,
I'm not serious.
And this is the difference. So like,
I was like, I got extra weight right now.
Steph is mama bear protection.
Let's go.
And it's like, Dad, okay, and you'll learn this. And dads out there listening can relate. Dad's like, okay, what's the lesson in this? Mm-hmm. How can my son be tougher from this? How can I teach him to be a man from this? Everything. every little thing is what's the lesson. That's what goes through my mind.
I'm not gonna lie. I would have probably blacked out and punted the kid.
Well, and I was literally at a
You're banned
playground.
from the ballpark.
Not an indoor
Oops.
playground place. What's it called? I don't know.
We need some sort of disclaimer for Zach.
I know.
Hey, what did you say? I know.
Wait, what?
Because you guys are the same, remember?
No, hey.
Are you kidding me? I've seen some of the messages you've had typed up to potential
Well, to be
people.
fair,
For the
I
record,
am
I'm kidding.
a woman, and you're just like a grown man. How tall are you?
6'2".
Yeah, just like this big rage 6'2" man come falling. Like, I'm like 5'3". So
I'm
it's like,
intimidating
all right, girl.
too.
I'm not talking,
I'm
but you
stout.
weren't mad. You were like trying to like, okay,
Yeah.
Steph, give it a second.
Stout.
He said that
I
earlier.
have an athletic build. I'm just a lot
I
shorter.
do think you do.
He does.
Spencer, you
So
could be
funny.
scary. Except I don't find you scary because
No.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm
you're
nice.
sweet.
I'm nice to you,
Well, when we get
Kinsey,
in-
and stuff.
Any sort of notice the order of that.
Well,
Anyways, when it comes to like someone being pissed,
Disclaimer.
it's always me, and he's like the one talking him.
well, yeah,
talking me
again,
off
because I
the-
look at it as lessons. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
what lesson can be taken from this? And that's in life anymore. I'm like, okay, we always talk about the sharpening season. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
take a step back. What can I learn? What can
I'm
I
like,
learn?
Well,
cut ties, get him out of here. I
That-
don't care.
yeah, and that's
how you are.
That's very admirable.
And I
I would
Again,
really like
give
that.
them-
Back to the
time.
business relationship of like, Zach's like, nah, F that, we're out. And I'm like, nah, just let it play out. And let's
We
find an
do.
organic
I do.
way.
And
Let's
after
find
the-
an organic way to end this.
Dude, how
I'm
many?
so thankful for you.
How many times has somebody been like texting us and just being a
Yeah.
butthole, and I'm just like freaking
Zach's like, hey, read this before I send it. And I'm like, no.
delete the
I'm like,
whole thing.
Thank you for your time. Have a great day.
I've done that once or twice for him.
Let it eat in their, let their
Yeah.
conscience do the work.
Yeah.
Conscience do the
Mhm.
work.
Oh, that's what's happening. My conscience is just like,
Literally.
oh my gosh, motherhood. It's like,
Oh.
oh, I do.
Oh my gosh, that is
So, Tawny,
Long story short,
huh?
I said long story short.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
so sure.
Long story
Of this
short.
kid, he's still alive.
Oh, yeah.
His
Oh.
moms didn't fight me.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
it
I
all
would've
worked out. It all worked
it
out.
all worked out.
We
It
couldn't
all
find
worked
her,
out.
so I'm just kidding.
Thank goodness.
It all worked out.
It all worked out. I have a question for the lady entrepreneurs in this room. Both of you, that is. Tawnee, what's your goal for business this year?
We talked about this a little bit. I feel like this year I've really struggled making goals because I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what's hard is I'm like, I don't know like what's going to happen with your guys' business and what that's going to look like. I don't know what's going to happen. Like when are we going to have kids? Like we
Lot of
haven't decided
unknowns.
that.
Mhm.
Like, I don't think we're going to
Yeah.
move this year, but like in the
No, it
near
wouldn't be.
future,
It
I'm
wouldn't
like,
be this
Yeah.
year.
I was telling him, I'm like, our house even, it feels like home, but it feels temporary. So like I don't
Yeah.
feel 100% like settled in it. Like everything in my life feels like not temporary, but like
We're just in the
There's-
transitional
yeah.
stage.
But you feel something greater on the other, and you're
Yes.
like, okay, we're
Yeah.
going
and I don't know
in
how
that
to
middle
handle it well. Like I don't know like how to I don't know how to
because it
explain
requires stillness. That's what I was telling. I was going through a slump 2 weeks ago
Mhm.
of like, holy crap! Like I feel a change coming, and it requires me to be still
And
I'm like,
reflect.
and reflect.
Yeah.
Reflect and continue into a spiral.
Yeah. Depending on
Oh.
how you handle it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
trust. And you notice the slump.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
even said
I
it.
did.
And yeah,
I did.
like legit. I'm just not good at being still and waiting.
Mhm.
But the Lord kind of
Yeah.
sat me down, and then
Yeah.
I kind of had to come to Jesus moment with you guys
Yeah.
about the whole like just rebranding of everything.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
And I
Anyway,
saw an
put-
immediate spark.
Yeah.
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 So anyway, sorry,
Anyhow.
I chimed in there, but
I
it,
really
I just
don't-
had it
I
was
don't
a
have
stillness.
like specific. That's like I was telling Steph a while ago. Like I went to write my goals out, and I'm like, the only thing that I could even really think of is to talk about like my faith, because I'm like, I just feel like if I dig deeper in that, like the Lord will lead me where I need to go.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I just want to press into Him. Like I don't want to try to create this list on my own and be like, well, this sounds good, and I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
And I
Makes
think-
total sense.
Yeah, we talked about this the other day pretty in depth of like it just feels like we are in such this transitional phase.
Transitional
of-
period
Yeah.
of
and-
like again where you're like you climb up those stairs, you master that level, and now
Right.
it's like okay, we're about to climb those stairs again.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And
I feel like I I'm going to be 27 in April, but I feel like we always talk about how cliche this is, but when you hit 25, you feel like your frontal lobe develops. And I'm like, this past few years, I feel like everything, the way I think about things is different. The way I reflect on things is different. And I'm like, life just feels so different than it did even a couple years ago.
Oh, I
a lot more wisdom and maturity.
I fully agree.
It's
with
crazy
that.
how like you can just feel it happening. Like I'm like, oh man, I would not have reacted to this way just even a couple years ago.
Yeah, the way and I can attest to that though. And Steph and I talked about this a little bit ago, and because I was telling her how I felt, but like everything is just like kind of shifted as far as like how I like to learn, what I like to do. I used to be such a doer. Now I like kind of like that. Is it left or right brain, like the engineering type stuff?
No, for sure. And I see that hardcore.
Where it's like I like reading, I like studying, and I used to just be like, let me just go do it and I'll figure it out. Now I like studying.
I mean, we were literally watching a video on
developing spreadsheets
today. Yeah, for sure.
Taking handwritten notes.
I know you. I'm well aware.
So, but Tawnee, that makes total sense. And so, like when I say the entrepreneurs, women in here, I also talk about Steph because she runs a home, which you could basically say is its own thing. It's its own culture.
Yeah.
And so, you know what's sad is I haven't talked to you about this yet this year. And this is a question I should ask you alone, but what are your goals for this year? And personally, and just like for the culture of the Maxwell house?
That's a great question.
Because she sets the tone. She is the, what is it? The thermostat of the house. The woman is the thermostat.
1000%.
I don't know. Honestly, I know I've had a word, which I shared with you guys in New Year's Eve. So my word of the year is servant, which is kind of scary when you think about servanthood and what that means. Motherhood's a lot of that. But yeah, I think my goal for the year is to learn how to serve joyfully, serve God joyfully, serve my husband, and then my kids. Obviously, my kids are very much in the center of all that at all times, which is amazing. I will never, he says it all the time, like, I'll never get this time back with them. But yeah, I think learning how to serve well and joyfully, because a lot of times I'll do stuff and things are taken care of and I have an attitude, or I'm upset, or I'm tired, and there's an excuse there, and that's not, the Lord wouldn't give me a home, a husband, and kids without, I need to reach out to him more. Even like how to be a mom. It's just so second nature, but it's like, okay, well, I need to learn how to do it just biblically, godly, not angrily.
Well, and not to take away from a thing that you said, but I think that it's okay to give yourself a little grace too. Like, we're human beings. And like,
I get on her about that all the time.
And genuinely, that is such a difficult thing to do. 3 under 3, that is insane. Yeah. So yes, striving for, doing it in a biblical and godly way and growing, right? And growing in that, but give yourself some grace.
And giving yourself grace and lowering expectations are not the same thing, people.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Correct. Like, you can keep the standard.
Yeah.
But like, just understand that like sometimes we're humans.
Yeah. It's like her with cookie cakes. It's like, oh my gosh. Oh, that's another update.
Yeah.
Curly's cookie cakes. But like, anyway, the whole grace thing.
Yeah.
Like, she'll make a cookie cake.
Dude, I want to throw it in the trash.
She wants to throw it in the trash. She'll make it in 20 minutes. It looks phenomenal. It looks phenomenal. She'll make it in 20 and it looks phenomenal. She'll make it in like the span of 20 minutes. It would have taken me a whole day and a lot of cuss words and whatever. And it's like, it looks amazing. It looks perfect. And she's like, oh my gosh, this looks like crap. I'm like, Steph, like, could you just like be easy on yourself?
Bryant and Ava Marker, like, if you guys are watching this, I owe you a cake because
she thought that was terrible and they were so thrilled. I was like, that's beautiful.
He brought them in here and they were amazing. Well, like, what are you talking about?
Nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
No. I'm not saying this stuff.
Things that you truly like, I know I could have done so much better. And I also know, like, that was a one-time event. That was his first birthday. He will never have another first birthday.
And this is what I mean by give yourself grace.
Like 50%.
No, and it looked amazing. This was why I'm like, Steph, give yourself grace, but don't lower expectations, but give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Like, you made that in a tough situation. Like, she was literally she gave birth like a couple days later. I'm like, insane. Dude, like, chill. Like, it looks amazing.
You are insane.
Yeah. So anyway, Curly's cookie cakes.
Yeah.
So Steph is on top of the house itself. You have that.
That's exciting.
You're
You're running
more
that
like
too.
a fun thing. It's
Yeah.
not
It's a fun thing, and she's phenomenal. The cookies are phenomenal.
Seriously.
I mean, I tell you what.
I mean, you know how I feel about cookies.
Yeah.
If you would like a custom cookie cake, reach out to Curly's Cookie Cakes on Instagram.
Yep.
Woo.
Yeah.
And one
They're
thing,
so
like I'm not a huge cookie cake kind of guy. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Like
good.
those things. Remember the one that I literally was like cutting straight from like
Yeah.
the puzzle piece like out into the
Yeah,
middle.
dude. It's like we're all
Who
cutting
cuts
rectangles, and Zach like cuts inside and like at angles and
He's
stuff.
right.
It's
Has
like
psychopath
he is the guy
behavior.
that has like the Twix instead of snapping it. He just like bites it right in the middle. You're like, what are you
Or
doing?
or a taco, and instead of biting it on the edge, you bite it straight
Right
in the middle.
Yeah.
You're like, it's the best part. It's
oh
so-
my
yeah.
gosh.
Steph, are you a perfectionist?
Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
Have you ever taken the Enneagram?
I'm a 1.
Oh,
Makes
okay.
such sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the one?
The perfectionist.
The perfectionist. It's literally.
Do you know what
it is.
mine is?
Type
What?
A.
I'm a 9, which is the opposite. It's the farthest you can get from a 1.
What is it?
The peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
Makes-
I see that. That makes sense. Didn't know that.
I'm not
He's
a 9.
8. He's
I'm an
the
8.
challenger.
I'm a 3, wing 8.
Yours
Really?
is the achiever.
Yep.
See, these
What
all
is-
make great
Yeah.
sense.
What is a 4 and a 5? What is that?
4 is a
the-
very unique person.
Yeah, they're called the individualists. I know this because my sister's a 4,
Mhm.
but they
Wanna
like
be
to
different.
stand out. Yeah.
They want to be different.
hmm
Because I'm a 1, and then I was equally a 4 and a 5, whatever that
Oh,
means.
interesting.
And you know,
I don't know what that even means.
you know, our pastor Charlie McMahon, who's fantastic. He put it this way about the Enneagram, and I would recommend to everybody listening, like if you haven't taken the Enneagram, go take it. But he said, don't use it as like a crutch. Oh,
Right.
well, that
Yeah.
I'm just an achiever, so that's why I'm that way.
Yes.
No, it's use it as a sin finder.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Use it as
It
a sin
helps with
finder.
reflecting too, because it's
Yeah.
like I read
Yeah.
about it and I'm like, oh yeah, that is a weakness that I never really like dug deep about, and I'm like, I could work on that. But
Yeah.
you don't have like a name to put with the problem, so you just
Mhm.
kind of don't never think about it. But yeah, I love the Enneagram, but all of these make such sense.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And an 8's not great.
Do you know what's funny is I looked up, because you can look up your Enneagram number like as a couple,
Yeah.
like how they
Yeah.
work together, and we are called the fire and ice couple.
Oh. I was
It's
going
like you can't get any more opposite.
I've got a joke, but I
I
won't
was
say
gonna
it.
say something. I know.
Say
I was
it.
like, no,
Say
it's
it.
inappropriate.
It's
Inappropriate.
I already
Oh,
know.
no.
I already know.
It's PG
No.
podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
People
Parental
listen in the car
guidance.
with their kids.
That's right.
So,
Can you say I love Jesus? That's what Noah's doing right now.
Stop.
So, Tawnee, how does it feel to? Because you guys used to work from home all the time. How does it feel that Zach's out of the house now all the
Listen,
time?
I
Do you finally
love-
get some peace?
I
love it.
love him so much. I really do. But I'm a person that likes to be alone. Like I really recharge, and I was never alone for like
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. And
Zach's like,
no,
Dagger to the heart.
because I agree. Like it was good. It was good, and I love just being able to have a space where I can come and work on
Mhm.
something, and
Yeah.
it's
Which
just
we
it's
always
so
got
nice.
along really well.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
when
We never
were at
fought.
home. No, but like it's more of like now that I like watching you thrive too. Like it makes me happy that you're doing something that
Yeah,
fills your cup.
and
Mhm.
I will say, like, I am very stressed right now and just kind of like running high, just trying to get things going, all that kind of stuff. But I don't think I've ever been happier.
I
Aw.
asked him the other day. I said, "Are you the happiest you ever been?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like,
I can unequivocally say that this is probably the happiest I've been.
That's cool.
I love
Yeah.
Spencer's over here like it's because you're with me every day.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm the
No,
one that
And they're
interrupts them all the time.
boys.
Yeah, they're boys. I interrupt them all the time. I piss them off.
No, it's
No,
just
he
No,
loves
well,
you.
we got a lot going on, and we're just
We do.
doers. That's
Yeah,
just it's like
for sure.
when we have stuff to do, and like when you're thriving. I
Mhm.
wouldn't say thriving, but when you have stuff going on, it definitely
Yeah.
helps.
no, for sure, and soon to be thriving, optimistic.
Yeah.
Being optimistic. And it just feels good to just kind of sink your teeth into like this massive, just like bone that you're just
Mhm.
gonna just keep going and going and going.
Because
and
all,
going.
dude, like the things that we're about to learn is just like,
Oh,
as Russell Wilson
a
would say,
lot.
unlimited.
Unlimited.
I know that this is like stereotypical, and it's probably not for all men, but like for most men, or what I've seen is that you guys like you love like being productive and doing and like achieving and like working really hard, and I feel
Mhm.
like that's why like you're out here every day, like in your calling. I feel like, and
Yeah.
you're working really hard, and I feel like that fills your cup.
But I,
For
I
sure.
would say that that's one of my personal goals this year. Just kind of talking through it would be like to not get caught up in the identity crisis of being like
like you find your identity in achievements.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, again, getting more intimate with the Lord to therefore have your identity rooted in that. And that is a goal of mine this year. I wish I read more scripture. I really do. I hate reading in general.
Me too.
Which
is
my
not
prayer
good.
request every single day that Spencer opens his Bible.
Oh,
so
you are such a good
talking
wife.
about it is like, all right. The other day he was like, I'm gonna read 5 minutes of the Bible. Where should I start? I was like, the book of John. Go.
Yeah. And so
I was like, thank you, Lord.
I've been trying to go through Proverbs one every day.
love Proverbs, all the wisdom.
It's super applicable.
But
anyway,
but like men could also get they could have that could become their identity. And so like that has always been mine. It's like, okay, if nothing's going on, I'm kind of like, I go into a crisis or a slump, so to speak. Yeah. And then it affects our marriage a lot too. Yeah. So that's, I would say that's,
which I think it's huge growth that you're even like admitting that. Cause like year 1 and 2, you'd have been like, it's not my identity. And would have gotten angry about it.
Defensive.
And now it's very much like, okay, this is where I'm at and I want to work on it. And
blah, blah, that's really good.
I love what I do and I love what we're going to do. And it's going to be like one of my favorite things ever. But also I need to remember that's not who I am.
Right. That's so hard though.
Point blank,
that's
period.
really hard.
For men, like you said, it's very easy for a male to just identify with what they do.
Right.
That's a lot of guys. That's all they got going.
Yeah.
So we talk to a lot of guys, and it's like they can only talk about what they do.
Yeah, for sure. And and to the point, like it's very easy for that to become your identity, and like the level of success that you obtain is almost like your worthiness as a man, right? Like, if I'm not doing this, if I'm not doing that, if I'm not making X, Y, Z, like, I'm a failure. No, understanding,
which is also the.
I'm struggling.
We go take
no, I'm fine.
Which is also the comparison factor.
Chug this.
I'll trade you.
We'll make it fun.
Yeah. Chug the Woodford.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was gonna put you on the spot. Are you good to answer a question?
Let's go.
Okay.
As long as I don't cough.
I was gonna ask if you. I know that you are a perfectionist and that you were like in the working field for a while. Has it been hard to like not put your identity in that?
100%. I struggled the first 6 to 8 months, I would say, of just doing that. I'm just a stay-at-home mom and blah blah blah.
I hate when people say that.
I hate when people say that.
If you say, she just stays at home, I don't completely lose respect for you, but like you don't get it.
No.
So anyway, again, I interrupted. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I definitely struggled in the beginning for sure. Cause it was like, by no means did I have an amazing career, but everything I did, I was some sort of in a leadership position, whether it was just over one person or had a lot of work that was important.
You've always worked your way up to a leadership position wherever you've been.
A team to lead or whatever, and being a part of something bigger when it's like just you and your kids. And, sometimes like they're in ages where like when I started to be at home, Noah just turned 1. He was like 14 months. Isaiah was about to turn 3 and I was pregnant. And so I was kind of like you want to prep for the baby, but you want to do all this different stuff. So it was hard. But I just now kind of feel like in my groove. And, I don't know.
Well, let me ask you guys this. And this doesn't have to be like anything like, we've talked about like this, where we want to be. Obviously babies aren't going to stay babies forever.
Yeah.
I hate
don't
to say
talk
that.
About it.
Where's the fish?
But
she starts sobbing.
I know. I am postpartum. I'll just start like falling myself. The hormones are wild.
But what, if any, what is like the ideal end goal for the Maxwell household? Like what you're doing, like, are you wanting to stay a stay-at-home mom? Like, obviously you have like that drive to do some other stuff, like got Curly's cookies, things of that sort. Like in a perfect ideal world, what is end goal of what the dynamic looks like?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Just kind of dreaming here, and this is a rough draft. I don't know. We'll just throw stuff out there and see what sticks. But like, I would like, because it's a very comforting feeling for me to have my wife at home, and like just knowing that the house is taken care of, my kids are in good hands and being taught good things. is super comforting for me.
Yeah.
And I'll do whatever I can to keep it that way, no matter what. But so I would want like to Steph be a stay-at-home mom, like up until like honestly until kids get licensed, because it's going to be constantly
licensed. I was thinking like I was thinking a long time too.
A long time because like even could you imagine if all 3 kids played multiple sports?
No, you'd be in the car a lot.
Very true.
Like, she would. A full-time job
Very
would just
true.
be running that schedule.
Right.
Yeah.
But like in a perfect world, I would love to, obviously want to send the kids to private school, especially in today's society. I've talked about that. But in an ideal world, I would still love to work with my wife in some capacity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think ideally, I think that I'm actually going to be going to like a convention in April.
Homeschooling convention.
The homeschooling convention. I'm just going to see, I'm really interested in homeschooling. I don't know that I could do it because I know it'd be a lot and that's a huge commitment. So in my brain right now, the next 10 years, because Lila would be 10, we do want to send them to a school when they're probably like in 5th grade, 6th grade. Once there's like very much values ingrained to where they can be around other kids, and they're around other kids a lot, honestly, right now. But to be at home homeschooling, but also like that would only take like 2 or 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then possibly doing other things like running them around, obviously, but also doing something with him.
In a new house in Bellbrook.
In Bellbrook.
Yeah, by my aunt's house. By my aunt's house. And then get her a all black Yukon Denali.
Oh.
That'd be nice, but I don't need it.
XL.
I thought she was wanting the wagon.
You know what?
The
my
G-Wagon.
trunk. I love my car, but I miss my van.
Yeah, I know. She said
I want
that.
my trunk.
She said she misses her van.
Trunk.
Oh.
There's nothing like having 2 little ones in a car seat and just hitting the doors right, left, get them in, put up the back. There's room. Now it's like I'm all the way in the back.
Hey, just letting you know,
kids in.
the Tesla Model X, Falcon doors, same thing.
No third row.
No third
You can get a 3rd row.
$100,000.
I feel like it depends on the day that I ask you that, guys, this, but
Steph won't buy something that expensive if we can't give the same amount away.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really
because like you can't be, it's like people on TV when it's like they're dripped out in Louis or whatever.
Yeah.
They got like 3 Rolexes on.
Let me
gold
see your
chains. It's
taxes
like,
giving statement.
Yeah. Steph's like, I hope you're giving that much away. Because like if you're that rich, you should. Tithe.
You have to tithe.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So anyway, Tawnee, I know you're about to say something.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I think it depends on like the time that I ask you guys this question, but like if you want 4 babies,
I'd do it. It's so crazy how like when I was 8 and 9
we'd have to be in
I
a
was
new
like,
house.
absolutely not. I'm in so much pain.
We've outgrown our house already.
It was a rough pregnancy.
Well,
we
they
haven't
say
outgrown
that
it
God
yet.
just he just wipes your memory and you forget how terrible
she's
it
perfect.
was.
And at this
She
point,
is so
we I don't know.
If there was unlimited money in space,
Yeah.
I'd have 100.
Yeah. It's just
It's the best job in the world.
It is.
Aww.
It is literally the best job in the world. Like having kids and like you said earlier, watching them grow up.
I know. I'm slowly like giving things away, clothes and whatnot, and then I just now started like maybe I should have
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Spencer's like, oh no, it's
I gotta work that much harder. My identity isn't what I do now because it's all I do.
It's called motivation. I'm just here to motivate.
I guess your problem is my problem.
It is a cheat code though, man.
Yeah.
When you got kids, you got
I've
mouths to
heard people
feed.
say
It is
that.
a cheat code. Like I will outwork you.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Same-
many kids do you guys want?
2.
Yeah, I was gonna say same
feel
question
like-
to you guys. Like ideal world, whatever.
Obviously
Next
you're
couple of years.
waiting, but
Well, I just feel like the more I reflect on this, I'm like, I feel silly answering it when I don't even have one and I don't know anything that it
But
entails.
ideally, like, what is the
Ideally, I would
desire?
say 2 because I know us. Neither of us handle like chaos. Well, I don't even want to say that because when we're around your kids, we
You'll
love
be
it.
immune to it. You'll be immune to it. It's like they just collided
I don't
heads.
know.
yeah.
Get over it.
I don't know. I guess we've always said 2.
Yeah.
One
I-
each.
I'm kind of sitting at 2.
I think though, like if we have, I'm fine with like any gender. Like I don't care. I think I've always said this. Like I would love, like if I had a little girl, like I'd want her to have a sister. If I had a boy, I'd want him to have a brother. But then if I had a girl, I'd want to have a boy. Like I want all the
So
combinations.
what you're saying is you want 3 because things don't add up.
Yeah,
You can't have a brother,
you'd have to be
brother.
4.
Zach's
Dude,
gonna be a
that's
girl
me.
dad.
He is.
You think so?
Yeah.
You're a girl dad.
100%.
I've always said that.
You're a girl dad through and
Because
through.
he's gonna give you what you need.
Oh.
She needs.
So-
And
She
you
thinks
need not
that you
be
need.
disrespectful to people texting them angry messages at
Think
work.
about that first date. Come on in.
Oh.
Sit down. Let's chat. And he's like
Ooh.
raging. I've still never
The
seen this.
rage.
I've still
I
never seen
put
this
that
one.
kid.
But I hear about it.
I was
so.
kidding.
You've never seen Zach mad.
No. But I did
Yeah.
watch
The
the
Ohio State game.
was
Yeah,
like
when he
a
watched the
little
Ohio
wild.
State
Oh,
game, and
that
Ohio
was
State,
passion. But that was a
Ohio State
passionate-
missed a tackle.
Yeah.
Oh my
that was
gosh!
passionate.
Well,
was telling
that,
my-
that was like that was
I was telling my parents
Nothing.
about that today. I was like, yeah, we were over at Spencer and Steph's, and Zach was screaming and jumping, like, let's go. And I look over and Isaiah's like, let's go.
Yeah,
jumping up
he's such a
and
little
down.
mirror.
I was like, that's scary. You can be on your
Yeah.
best behavior.
the things he'll say sometimes were like, it's very convicting. You're like, oh,
I feel like we won't be able. I feel like, okay, this sounds bad. I don't want to say that we gossip. We like to debrief after like we leave a big event. We'll like debrief what happened, whatever. And I'm like, when we have kids, no more debriefing because they'll run around and be like, Mom and Dad said this and this and this.
Mhm.
And all of our secrets will be revealed.
Oh yeah, you'll be exposed.
Exposed.
So that will help
I always
with
call them
any
little
gossip.
sin finders. If you have anger, they will bring
Well,
it out.
I've
if
always
you're-
said that like marriage is like the like prerequisite. Is that like the right term
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the sin finder? Like you just have to like it just shapes you into
Mhm.
being more holy, and then I feel like kids is gonna be a whole different level
Yeah.
of it.
Oh,
This was like
new
phase
ballgame.
one. It's gonna be
But
like
it's
phase
so
100%,
cool.
like-
It's
Yeah.
so cool.
I realized that I was so quick to anger with poor
Yeah.
Isaiah. You know,
He got the blunt of it.
yeah.
The,
but
the
now
first
it's-
kids always get the
They
blame.
also got
Yeah.
the newest clothes, the biggest birthday
Yeah.
parties, the best, all this stuff. So
He
it's-
doesn't
yeah.
doesn't have any hand me downs.
The
Those
kid's got
can be
he got a car bed at 2 years old. I never had a car bed. That's all I wanted. I'd go to sleepovers. I'd see car beds. I would be so envious.
Trampoline. That's all I ever wanted.
Trampoline. Never had a
Aw.
trampoline.
Playrooms. Yeah, they live great lives. They really do. They're great
They do
people.
live great
They
lives.
do. Yeah, they sure
So,
do.
you ladies, question for you: what's it like being married to entrepreneurs who are working together now? We were
Mm.
separate.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
think it's
it.
cool.
Do you
I think
get
it's
like?
good that you guys have each
Oh,
other.
yeah. You're
'Cause
not
it's like-
just like on an island. You can talk. You
Yeah.
have someone who's in it with you who can talk you off the ledge,
Mm.
whoever it is. You know what I mean?
More you
And
talking to
it's
me.
almost like, again, motivation because you know it's not just you. There's another family.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's
Taking care
like
of.
you can talk him off a ledge and he can pull you out of a slump. You
Mhm.
know, like
Yeah.
that's really
Mhm.
nice that you guys have each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can see it in you that you have him. Like you don't come home and you're like ranting to me because you probably
Yeah.
ranted to him all
Well,
day.
Yeah.
you can get in your head. That's where like the enemy can do his best
Yeah,
work.
that's
when you're
true.
alone. But,
Oh,
like, you
I agree with that.
Yeah, you talk
Yeah.
about
That's
it.
true.
and-
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
And it's
in
like
the
you
truck all
want
the
to
time alone used
isolate.
to be bad.
You want to isolate when you're going through it, and it's like that's where it gets even worse because then the enemy will attack even
And
harder.
you can talk to me about it, but I don't understand.
yeah,
I don't
Mhm.
understand. Same thing as like I love Bible study that we do and all the different like wives and moms because it's like, okay, you're not crazy. You're not alone.
Mhm.
Like this is just, and you also, we don't always just talk about our husbands. We talk about our husbands a lot. It's like, okay, it's not just a Spencer thing. It's, you know,
A Zach thing, too.
yeah, it's a guy thing.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
husband thing. It's a
Yeah.
whatever. So it's really nice to have, I'm sure, the community for you guys to, you know,
Yeah,
have each other.
it's fun because I mean we sat literally across from each other, and so we'll just be talking, and then I'll hear his chair roll, my chair will roll, peek the head out on the other side of the monitor, chit chat for a second,
Yeah.
go
Seeing
back to it.
Spencer's probably like picking his nose.
I do that when he's not picking around my monitor.
He hides.
Crusty
Can I
boogers.
ask you both?
Oh.
What is the one thing that you both do? So like, what is it that Spencer does? What is it that Zach does that you've learned about each other while working in the office?
Learned.
Whether it's like a good or a bad thing or a funny thing or whatever. Like,
I love this.
Like tendencies or habits.
okay, have you ever caught him picking his nose? Or he just like, you guys
Oh,
are
I
boys.
have
Does he like
one.
rip a fart? What does
What?
he do?
What, Tawnee?
You just told me he did it today.
No, we can't say that. And I don't do that back.
Oh.
There's no reciprocation. Yeah, cut. I don't know.
Or is it like,
I'll
it could
moon
be
him.
a, oh.
He mooned me.
Why can't you say that?
You see him? He looks at me. He said, "Hey, Moon." So appalled.
Every time he's coming out of the
I
bathroom.
come out of the bathroom. I'm like, whoa.
You probably seen his butt more than me.
That is so
Cut that
Yeah.
out there. Blueprint listeners don't want to hear that.
Well, that being said, one of Isaiah's
We're
favorite
married.
words is to say butt cheeks.
I know the other night.
Like, Mom, butt. Like, I forget what he says. Butt cheeks.
That is so
God.
funny.
Oh, what is one? I don't
Or
know.
like,
We're both
what's a
really
good-
loud talkers.
Yeah.
Very
We can't be on the phone
It's
at the
for
same time.
emphasis.
emphasis.
Very loud.
Emphasis. Yeah.
Like Zach will be in here. I'm like, yeah, I literally had to text a dude like, hey, I'll call you in a couple minutes
Zach's
because I was like, hey, I'm on a call right now. I'll call you back in a couple minutes. I wasn't on a call. Zach was just talking loud enough for the whole complex to hear.
Oh, okay, mister. I mean, this goes
Can you
right back at you,
imagine the
homie.
other
Well-
workers or the
well,
people in the
there's-
other offices?
There's normal conversations, and then there's like, for some reason, when you're trying to like build a relationship and schmooze somebody, the level of intensity just
Oh,
picks
yeah.
up.
Well, I think some of it is like the CRM dialer. It's super quiet. It's like more muted than like our normal.
I'm talking about on our end, not on theirs.
God love you.
They're
It's
probably
you,
hold-
Zach.
they-
It's
it-
you.
You are
They,
a loud
they can probably hold the
talker.
phone
Well-
out here and it's like it's on speaker, but
well,
it's not.
Well, here's also a problem. I'll put my AirPods in
Yeah.
and I'll have noise cancellation
Yeah.
because he is freaking talking so loud.
Yeah.
And so I'll put and then I'm like focused
I,
on the
I have
conversation.
every conversation on speaker too. I
You
probably
do.
need to be
You
better
both
about
do.
Oh my
that.
gosh.
Because
come
he'll
in.
turn his music. I probably need to be better about that.
He'll come in for just on the phone and he's like, I'm just like making dinner and the boys over there and Lila's sleeping and I'm just like,
Talk about
Oh,
overstimulation.
he's not even
Yeah,
in the
correct.
house yet.
And you know why I
Stop.
need to do that is because I am always used to being overstimulated. So I put the phone on speaker and then I have to have something in my hands.
Yeah.
I have to be carrying something or doing something.
I'm the same way.
So that's why I
always
have to
put
have my
all my
hands
phone calls
free.
on speaker.
I have to have my hands free. Like I could literally be like driving in the truck and it's silence and I'm like looking around the truck to see like what I can like click a pen or something.
Well, I hate putting the phone up to my ear. I don't go hands free. I just hold it like this and I talk like into it like this.
Mhm.
Every phone call I put, if I don't have my AirPods in, I'll put it on speaker.
I literally bought a phone holder so I can have
This
conversations
you
on
did.
speaker.
This is proof that God has a sense of humor because I'm so hearing sensitive and we'll just be in the car and he's just like on like the steering wheel. Sorry, that was really loud. And I'm just like, and then I'm just like, no. So then, because like all day long I'm around like the boys. So Lila will cry. The boys are like screaming. Spencer comes in. He's on the speakerphone. Then they play Monster and they do all this stuff. So by the end of it, he's just when there's silence, it's like he panics. I feel like, I'm like,
Yeah.
are you okay? Not panic, but you know what I mean.
I kind
He
of
just
am like
admitted
that
it. He's
too.
like,
I don't like silence.
Okay,
bliss.
let's do this.
Okay. Lay it
Okay.
on you, baby.
What is one thing that annoys you?
Oh, I love this.
I didn't want to say that, but
She's like, I wanted it too bad.
Because Zach and I have been
you go first.
Zach and I have been moved in.
no.
for-
But it's funny is he has something.
I don't
have anything.
I don't either.
Oh my gosh.
I literally
hate-
don't.
Do it.
I don't.
And they're boys.
Yeah. And
I can think of something.
they
I'll
love
think of
each
it
other
later.
and they can't think of one thing bad to say about the other. You don't get annoyed. I mean, I know you get annoyed because he'll like,
You don't get it.
I'll be helping him the other day, or this was like a couple weeks ago. I was helping him film something and he was getting frustrated and like sniffed at me. And Spencer comes, don't get, he like sticks up for me.
I was like,
That
don't
doesn't-
talk to her like that.
That doesn't
Like,
annoy you when he
No,
gets snippy with
no.
you?
I see opportunity.
Oh,
I see
That's right.
opportunity.
Reflection back to the dad.
Yeah, I see opportunity. Hey,
Yeah.
what's the
Like a
lesson?
meter.
I
It's
mean,
like a meter or
this
whatever.
is going to sound stupid, but I don't get annoyed with you.
Yay!
I-
Year
I-
one, everybody.
I-
This is year one. But I said it the other day. But it's like, shout out to Sean and Stack if you're watching this too.
Sean and
Because
Stack.
it's
Which
like-
Sean is our probably most avid listener next to
Tucked
Ethan.
in, baby.
I
He's tucked
see.
in.
next
Tucked
to
in.
Ethan,
Yeah.
give Ethan a
Hey,
shout.
Ethan Adkins.
Whoa.
He if you
Got him the blueprint socks.
got the blueprint sock. So if you're listening to this, baby,
He
Number
listens
one
to
fan.
every episode.
yeah.
But just having that year one, it's you guys are probably fine. But
You're in the
hearing-
honeymoon
Hearing
phase.
the two of them go at it, Sean and Stack go at it, it's like comical.
Oh, I have
well,
But then
videos.
it's
It's
like,
hilarious.
You can see it at year 5 and year whatever. I'm hoping
Well,
you guys get that.
Here's my thought process is, and this is zero reference to Sean and Stack, none. But like, I just respect you a ton,
Yeah.
and so like,
Even if we disagree,
we can do it in a cordial
Yeah.
manner. Because I respect your opinion, and I think that you respect mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think it is too is that I don't think either of you get offended very easily.
No,
so I think that helps. It would be hard if like he was, going off and you're like, oh.
Well, you don't get offended, and there's also a work ethic from both of you. If one of you was slacking, if one of you kind of sucked,
right?
You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Easily get annoyed.
And I will say that is one of the most admirable things that I about you is like, I mean, it'll be Saturday night. A lead will come in at like 10 o'clock. I'm getting ready to hit it. Next thing I know, dude just send a text. And I'm like, okay, like.
It makes you want to be better too.
100%.
We push each other.
I think so too. I think so too.
Cute.
Yeah. So
I thought we were going to get some tea. I was ready.
It's a yin and a yang.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to go debrief Steph on what really pisses me off in the car.
You're
going to leave and here's the scroll of the list. It just goes all across the board.
Yeah, so here's what it really is,
like,
Steph.
Recording, you're like, all right, so this is what you
Yeah, this is what you really want
to know. Yeah.
Do I do anything that annoys you?
Because you guys do work together.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, we do work together.
Yeah.
No. No, seriously. Like you're
good. Don't say anything because I'll cry.
She's trying to bait me.
I really want to know.
Tell me something nice.
You guys are going to debrief?
No, I defend you.
I find my identity in what other people think of me.
Michael Scott.
Yeah. Gee whiz.
So don't say anything bad.
No. And kidding. we do work a lot together. No, I'm just like,
yeah,
You're pretty chill.
That's the thing. I do get nervous about like working with friends and family. I get really nervous.
Well, dude, it
can
very
destroy
dicey.
Relationships.
It's
and so
very dicey.
this made me nervous.
Yeah.
But it's been good.
Yeah. I think when you can have like conversations and like I said, be not offendable. I think
that's the key of just communicating and not taking offense.
Yeah. And Steph and I have talked about this before. I think like the biggest trait of a Christian is being unoffendable. Because it's like if you truly have an identity rooted in Christ, what can somebody say that's really going to get to you?
Right.
Because all that matters is the audience of one.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's that, and then just a level of respect, right? Of I'm sure over the years, if we're doing half of the stuff that we're saying we're going to, there's going to be disagreements. It's life, right? But I respect you enough to come to you as a man and be like, bro, here's my thoughts. I'm going to be respectful about it. And I expect the same of you. If you have communication, right? Of just like telling me if you have a problem, it's the same as marriage.
Yeah.
If you have issues and you don't, if you don't tell them or communicate it, walls start to build.
It builds resentment.
It builds resentment and issues. And I think that it's the same with business because just as we were saying, I mean, it's basically a marriage because I spend more time with this guy than I do her.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that the same applies. And as long as we're running that, you know, it's not to say that hard times are going to come.
Yeah, we do disagree, even on like little stuff over like verbiage or something, or like I got on him over the format in which you put something into Google Drive.
Yeah. Which
is like, but then you're like,
okay,
nah, bro, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Yeah. But like I
heard you today when you were like, yeah, you were right. And Zach's like, what was that?
Yeah. But also we have come into agreement that like, okay, nothing moves forward unless both of us are all in on this decision. Like we have to be on the same page.
Yep. Yeah.
It's 2 or 0.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that we've done a pretty good job of setting ground rules. And obviously that's going to grow and evolve as the business grows and evolves.
Yeah.
And we're going to learn and we're going to continue to progress.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think so far so good. I mean, it's only been 2 months?
Yeah, I'm proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's like we're trying to do big stuff. We're trying to start a real estate fund.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
a long
process.
It ain't small potatoes, but it takes time. Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, what it comes down to is just continue to put in the work to the point to where
we will not see we won't see any reward for a while, but it's going to be fun when we do.
Yeah. And I think that we'll see reward on the short term, just like wholesale flip novation stuff, but the fund and the syndications and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's kind of getting into the big boy sandbox. And so there's going to be a lot to that. And it's going to be a lot of, I don't want to say trial and error, but because we're going to seek wisdom from mentors that know what they're doing. But I mean, that's a long process, bro.
Yeah.
The whole business is building relationships.
And I think we're pretty good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds
some of the best that I know.
I just enjoy getting to know and talk to people. It's
so
fun.
much fun.
It's so fun. Like if
Meanwhile, you and I.
I'm like, I like to be alone.
Yeah, Tawnee would have said, I like to be alone.
No, and so do I. That's how I recharge. He recharges around people, and I'm
I like
always
half
around my littles.
I'll crash. Like I have to recharge alone.
Yeah,
I have to have like at
about
least
that.
one day a week where I like don't do like see anyone or do anything, or else I
Yeah,
get
see,
burnt out.
I could be totally burnt out and exhausted. I'll get in a room of people, and it's like I'll get revived.
I think that I am slowly swinging back towards center in some of that because
it's like very much like, hey, I want to sit on my couch and not see a soul.
Yeah.
But also,
yeah, I used to be very, very, because the definition of extroverted and introverted is where you get your energy of like, do you recharge alone or do you recharge around people?
But I wouldn't say you're an introvert though.
Yeah, no. I have always said I am
You're
only
good at talking to
because like
people.
if I don't, I'm not going to be rude. I'm going to talk to you, but we go into a room and I'm just going to like, hey, how are you? And he's
Yeah.
like, hey, so what's
how
your
y'all
story?
doing?
Like, where are you
Right.
from? And but like when we
Oh,
go
yeah.
out to like different restaurants and he's like asking people their whole story and I'm just like, thanks for the appetizer. And I'm not being
the same
rude,
way.
you know, I'm not being rude, but I'm like not on your level.
I'm not the type of person that will like walk up to someone and start a conversation. I'm like, can
I've
you
gotten
start a
better at
conversation with me
I'm
and then
not
I will
scared of it.
reply to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of it, but I would just rather not.
Yeah.
So
To be
there,
honest with you.
there's
I
a
don't
question
want
for
to.
them.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make you uncomfortable? What's it like being married to guys who just will like
I
strike up
love
a conversation?
I
No,
love it.
yeah.
I'm like,
Security blanket.
yes, you are my. If
Mhm.
you're not there, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to talk to these people. You are my, because I feel like too, if I'm like, if we're in a conversation and I'm starting to like either run out of things to say or I'm getting like uncomfortable,
pick it
he
up.
picks it up for me and I'm
Yeah.
like, great, thanks.
Yeah.
See, I think I can talk to people
Mhm.
for sure. I think it's preference. Sometimes
Yeah.
I just don't really want to, or sometimes if I'm having a bad day, I haven't
Yeah.
been alone and I am not recharged, he can just like step in and, you know, do
Mhm.
whatever. But, you know, it's just like the whole nature of why we even got together, why you were just, if you didn't talk so much.
Oh, she
But
thought
if you
I
did-
was on drugs. Like I would
did.
lo and behold,
came
I'm
from-
like, I thought the weed was. I thought
came
the
from a
weed.
bar.
I thought weed was like the worst thing
Weed.
ever. And she's
The
like,
weed.
this kid's cracked out because
I
he
thought-
just ran up to me.
Can we say that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I came from like a bar setting where there was like drugs accessible and drinking, and obviously, you know, it's just a whole over whatever. So when I was at
It runs
Moraine,
parallel.
and he was like some 21-year-old kid that had to be like in a suit all day long, and you know his energy, and he's just like, I was like, oh, this is just like a little UD
Little.
whatever.
UD
I was gonna say
guy.
F
Yeah,
boy
little
who's
UD,
like on
Sinclair
cocaine.
dropout.
But he was not bad.
And then he stole your heart.
yeah, got through.
Boom.
3
got-
kids later.
I got through into his office, and now you guys share an office.
What?
So what you're saying, and we're very similar. So basically,
You're in
two
love.
offices.
Marriage.
I'm just kidding.
No,
but
business
it's been-
is
it's
a
been great.
marriage.
Business.
Business is quite
Marriage
like a
is
marriage.
business.
It is.
Marriage is a business or business. It's both.
Business
Mhm.
is a marriage.
Business
Both.
is a marriage. That's what you meant to say.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Got it.
Business is a
I thought
marriage.
you meant like marriage is a business.
No, but it can
You
be.
can't. Yeah, I was gonna say you
Yeah, it
can
can
run
be.
it like.
Yeah.
It can be.
Yeah, Steph runs the
Yeah.
books.
Alex and Layla.
Those are beasts.
Yeah. No joke.
Well, we and then we'll set a goal for this year is to go to the beach.
Oh,
Go
I
to the
have
beach.
to.
Beach. Let's go get away.
I just really want to play
That
with
was
your
so good.
kids. I told Isaiah that I'd build a sandcastle with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, "Yeah, sandcastle. I built castle."
I love it.
Oh,
Duh.
Ray.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lucky
So you guys are in
Insert
Bible
the
study
video.
together too.
Yeah.
So it's like, gosh
Yeah.
dang, man, it's like you guys are in Bible study, and it's like we're at work all the time. So it's like,
Nice.
gosh, a lot going on.
A lot going on.
I think
All
it
good,
adds to the level of respect. And then also just, I don't know, you want to like the other person's spouse, because if you guys are always around, then
Oh, for sure. I feel like that is huge.
Yeah, that'd be
finding
terrible.
other
That is
couples,
make
finding
or break.
Other couples that you like, the husband and the wife.
That's
like
really
you can have a conversation with them, and it's not awkward or weird or forced.
Or I don't leave being like, they hate me.
Yeah.
Right.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Or there's usually just like one friendship and then like the spouse doesn't, you know.
Yeah, the Christmas dinner. I'm like, Tawnee's like my sister.
Right.
The sister I never had.
I never had. Kids are sitting right there. I had to throw it at her.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I agree.
Aww.
And just not only that, but like respect, like I respect both of you so much.
Agreed.
Right.
Yeah.
No, so like not only do I like you guys,
Yeah.
but like I respect you guys.
It's
Mhm.
nice. It's not forced. It's
Mm-mm.
mutual and
Yeah.
it's all good.
And it's
Yeah.
nice too because you guys are like above us, like the phase above us, and we have
Mhm.
someone to look up to, knowing like, okay, we have realistic expectations of like parenthood
Mhm.
and like, you know, how to navigate that. And I think it's nice to have people to look up to.
But you're also above us as far as working together and having that dynamic of
Mhm.
something that we want to do someday. So it's really,
Yeah.
I think there's each person can add to it. It's not just like, you know.
It's a give and a take.
Yeah.
Everybody's got something to offer.
I
For
think
sure.
so. Absolutely.
That's good.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Is there anything that you guys, what is your goal for the year?
Our
let's
goal?
do like
Let's talk
per-
about the spreadsheet.
I know you already probably kind of talked about like business stuff, but like personally, do you have either of you have any goals personally?
I'm kind of like on his wavelength of like I do want to get deeper with my wife. I feel like we've just again kind of gotten by,
Mhm.
but I feel myself getting more confident in my marriage. But I would like to just take it beyond a level of confidence.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But goals,
That makes me so happy.
Mm-hmm.
goals. Gosh, you know what? I've been really bad because it's just like I'm just focused on
Yeah.
like, all right,
You have like one thing.
get to the
tunnel
next
vision.
month, get to the next month. All right,
Mhm.
family's taken care of. Where I haven't like written down goals. Really, I'm kind of like horse blinders to everything. Just like
Mhm.
build.
Yeah.
So it's like I do. Yeah, go ahead.
No, just being present and which you've done a really great job at recently.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but
Coming
like
in and being with the kids and being with me. There are days where, you know, that wasn't the case. So where you would come in and not even acknowledge me because you're just so but you've just been so good about that lately.
But we do have some goals. I think so. We wrote down our goals. So each of us want to start from the business that we're creating. We each want to make, $10,000 a month
By
Start
May.
By May.
By May.
We want to do. We want to build basically a 7-figure business. We want to have $1 million sold at the end of the year, or top line.
Yep. Top line.
Yep.
Hire a
wanna
sales team.
Hire a transaction coordinator, hire a sales agent
Yeah.
by August,
Yeah.
hire a transaction coordinator by June. I think we gave us 2 months leeway.
Yeah.
And then we want to do 2 flips, which we actually
Mhm.
just got our first flip under contract
Yay.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited
Yeah, I'm
to watch
super
that
excited.
whole process.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian's gonna crush it. And so we want to do 2 flips this year
I think that's maybe even aiming a little
for
low.
the business. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think maybe we could hit maybe 4.
More. Yeah. Yeah.
And then really we're trying to start up a real estate fund, which is going to take a while. So I
It
don't know
is.
what that looks like timeline wise. It could take
Yeah.
up to 6 months just to get regulations filed
Yeah.
for that.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that we need to
but
learn.
we want to build that infrastructure this year,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
set us up for, the whole next year, 2026. Crazy. We're talking about 2026, but
Exactly.
2026 just being the runway of like capital,
Yeah.
raising capital.
Yep. And what will be great is the other business will be comfortable with healthy cash flow for us,
Yeah.
for our incomes. And so, it takes a little bit of the stress off,
Mhm.
right? And then just go all in on how can we just scale, baby, scale.
Yeah.
Another goal of ours
Oh,
to
gosh.
buy a furnace
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
because we
Oh,
are
for
freezing.
yeah.
Cold
This
in here.
mini split ain't cutting it, bud.
No, we got portable heaters in this, John.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This mini split is not pumping it. I have it set to 88, but it is still like 50 something in here.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
it's
like, these aren't
also,
headphones,
like,
these are
10
earmuffs.
degrees.
Just sitting here like
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It's 10
The thing
degrees
does great
outside.
with air conditioning, but the heat
Yeah.
element on that thing ain't working. So a goal of
Yeah.
ours in end of
To buy a
2025 is to buy a
furnace.
furnace.
Buy a furnace, yeah.
Winter 2025.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
At
At
least
least
see a
you-
recap and see the brand new beautiful furnace.
Yeah,
So,
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, we'll do it
And-
another
well,
one.
we were talking and we were like, someday we're going to be able to sit here and reflect and be like, bro,
Mhm.
do you remember when we were in that office? We didn't have a furnace. It was just me and you in there. We were just grinding away.
The pipes were frozen.
The pipes were frozen.
Our pipes froze 2 days ago.
Yeah, they
I
did.
sure did.
Yeah.
It's like
so-
how you reflect on
work
your
and at
first.
Yeah.
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 Like how you reflect on your like first time together, where didn't he help you write a
I
real estate
yeah.
contract?
I helped. We met at Chipotle. I helped him write a real estate purchase contract.
And then me and Steph were at Power Ad, and I was trying to be an Instacart driver.
Yeah, it's come a long way since
talking
then.
about it,
yeah,
and I was just like sat there, not doing much. Because there was a whole plan. There was
Steph would text me like, "I need something to do."
I know.
That's the worst. Like, I'd rather be so busy.
And you're confined to the space.
Well, when they took me into the office that December to, at the time, put me in a different position, a more leadership role, whatever. I was like, I'm getting fired. I do nothing. I'm just like, here we are. I need to go back to my old job.
It all comes full circle.
It does.
It does.
And back to the point that you made of being like present, I've just kind of really sat back and been like, for the first time in my life, I'm just like really enjoying the journey.
He's happy.
That's so cute.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like it's stressful. Like I almost had a heart attack the other day when we're talking about one of our deals and
don't speak that.
All this kind of stuff. I thought that it was going to fall apart when found out some information. And I mean, obviously you're running like this because you're at the very beginning, but also like and not to get cliche, but just coming in the office every day and just, I don't know. It's just,
it's just like
awesome.
There's something about just like, okay, it's like you, and this is like, I don't know another analogy and this is cheesy. So whatever. It's like you're stepping onto the battlefield and there's just 1,000 dragons to slay. And it's like, it's not a burden. It's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. And let's learn as we go.
It's like,
it's fun.
Yeah. And knowing that you're not alone, it's
cool.
Yeah.
Lots of business stuff that we want to get done this year. And then hopefully in 2026, we'll have a much bigger recap.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm hoping to build this business at 7 figures this year, bro.
Yeah, Mr. Posts every day on socials.
Yeah, I mean,
follow Zach Hire at
yeah.
Every day he's like,
cool,
I don't know.
Well,
that's a whole job.
It's a whole level of discipline that you're doing.
Well,
really cool.
It's the last thing that I wanted to do. I mean, goodness gracious!
He threw his microphone at the wall the other day out of your rage.
Was that when I was in there?
That was when you were in there trying to. You were setting up the tripod.
Yeah, and I mean, goodness gracious, we have an agency catered around this, and I literally that's
the
my
mic wasn't working, and he was getting so pissed at the mic.
Yeah, I mean,
we always talk about this. I'm like, I tell people to post all the time, like, but I don't want to do that. Like, I'd rather just tell you to do.
Well, yeah, it's like when you're a construction worker. You can pour the best concrete ever for everybody else, but you don't want to do your own driveway.
Yeah,
right. No, for sure. And I put it off for so long, and I'm like, I just think that it's the trajectory in which things are going. Like I've already seen some turnout of like people that I've never talked to reaching out, inquiring about real estate. And I'm like, okay, if I just keep going and honestly, like, I don't even care right now. I'm like, if I have no followers, if I don't see anything for 2-3 years, whatever, right now, embracing the suck, it sucks. I suck at it, and I mean, honestly, and then
sucks. I suck.
But stuff's like, don't speak death.
Well, I mean, it's just the reality, and it's just like continuously.
And y'all haven't even seen the rough drafts.
Yeah,
take one, take two.
I hear the tape. I hear him like recording or like talking, and he's like, "Oh,
yeah."
Well, what is it? January 22nd. Get to like April.
Yeah, no,
for
August
for
sure.
In,
that's a
November,
chunk.
Like, what do you even say?
Right, no, absolutely, and I'm just like right now, I'm more so doing it just for the discipline. I said I did it, and now I'm going to do it. Yeah. Right, I need to do it, and then if I can post 100 times and get 100 videos, now I can get a little feedback of like what kind of performs a little bit better, what doesn't perform. Okay, now I have some data points to be able to tweak.
Work with.
Yeah. So now I'm just trying to get stuff out there, see what works, commit to every single day. And then, hopefully in 2-3 years, something pans out and
pieces.
Yeah. Puzzle pieces. So
puzzle pieces.
Just committed to the work right now.
Look like?
That's right.
That's what we're waiting for.
That's right.
All right.
Cool. Y'all need to run to your date night.
Oh, let's go. We're gonna go
Chick-fil-A.
We're gonna go to Cooper's Hawk, but it sounds like it's 8 o'clock. We're gonna go hit Chick-fil-A probably.
Oh,
I'm not going to Chick-fil-A.
Oh, okay, all right.
You're not going to Chick-fil-A.
We'll go somewhere else.
We'll go to the trampoline park.
Yeah.
Paper dress.
Well, sorry,
Dress
you
and
thought it was a
boots.
date night. I'm gonna show up.
That
So
actually sounds really fun.
I could.
I'm excited for. Do you see what I'm wearing?
Okay. All right.
She's gonna
Yeah.
flash everyone.
Dress.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
All right.
I was
Well-
actually considering it. I was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. Cool. Just, talking to you guys is always fun. It's not
Yeah.
like we don't do it enough. So
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having us on. It's been
Yeah.
an honor to be
Absolutely.
love
a guest.
having the wives on.
Hopefully this is
Absolutely.
the
Season
second
2.
top. Wait, are we still number one?
No,
Oh, we were
We're
number
number
one
one.
for
you were
a
like
while.
2 or 3.
Who was number 1? Chaz.
I forget.
Chaz was good.
Chaz was really good.
Chaz was good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But-
They were all
Darn.
good.
We're gonna beat you, Chaz.
Oh,
We're
ooh.
coming
Just
for
kidding.
you.
We're not.
But yeah, it's hopefully there's people out there that can take something away from today, and we brought you a little bit of value. And season 2 is back in action. So
Woo.
on
Back
to the
in
next.
action. On to the next.
Yay.
Peace.
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 Peace.